The family that fed me has been dead for years. If I'd stayed in my car that night, I wouldn't have seen the house. I wouldn't have stepped inside, and I wouldn't have to live with what I know now. My car broke down on a lonely stretch of highway, miles from anywhere. The engine sputtered once, twice, and then gave out completely. With no phone signal and no hope of flagging down another car, I started walking. That's when I saw it, a faint light flickering through the trees. It was a house, old and weathered, but warm light spilled from the windows like a beacon. Desperation made me brave. I knocked on the door, and after a long moment, it opened. A man stood there, tall and thin, maybe in his 60s. His kind smile and gentle eyes put me at ease. "Car trouble?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. "Could I use your phone?" "Of course. Come in, son. It's not safe out there." The house smelled faintly metallic, like blood covered by bleach. The warmth was stifling, almost oppressive. A woman appeared from the kitchen, thin and pale with a smile that seemed plastered on her face. "Poor thing," she said. "You must be starving. Sit. I'll fix you something to eat while my husband calls for help." She brought me a bowl of stew, thick and dark, with chunks of meat and soft, overcooked vegetables. The first bite made my stomach churn. The meat was tough, rubbery, with a strange aftertaste I couldn't place. "You don't like it?" she asked, her smile faltering. "No, it's good," I lied, forcing another bite. Her smile returned, wider than before. The teenage boy sitting across from me hadn't said a word. He stared, unblinking, with a faint grin that sent chills down my spine. I wanted to leave. Every instinct screamed at me to get out of that house, but politeness kept me in my seat. "I need the bathroom," I said finally, standing too quickly. "Second door on the left," the man said, his eyes narrowing slightly. I walked down the dim hallway, but I didn't stop at the bathroom. A door at the end of the hall caught my attention, slightly ajar, with faint light spilling from within. I don't know what compelled me to open it, but I did. It was a basement. The smell hit me first, thick, sweet, and metallic. The stairs creaked as I descended, and my flashlight beam trembled as I swept it across the room. A butcher's table sat in the center, its surface scarred and stained with old blood. Hooks dangled from the ceiling, some empty, others holding scraps of meat. Bones littered the floor, some splintered, some disturbingly intact. A skull rested on a shelf, its hollow eyes staring back at me. The stew I'd eaten rose in my throat. "What are you doing down here?" I spun around to see the man standing at the top of the stairs. His kind smile was gone. I thought this was the bathroom," I stammered. "You shouldn't have come down here," he said softly.
Behind him, the wife appeared, her wide smile now twisted into something predatory. The teenage boy stood at her side, holding a long rusted knife. "You can't leave," the man said, stepping closer. Panic took over. I shoved past him, bolting up the stairs and into the hallway. My shoulder hit the front door hard, and I stumbled out into the cold night. Behind me, I heard the wife's laughter. I ran blindly through the trees until I saw headlights. A car slowed and the driver leaned out the window. "What the hell are you doing out here? Help me," I gasped, climbing into the passenger seat. "Please, just get me out of here." The police didn't believe me at first, but I convinced them to check the house. "It's just a few miles back," I said. "You can't miss it. There's a light on the porch." They exchanged a look, and one of them said, "That house burned down 40 years ago. The family died in the fire." "No," I said. "I was just there. I saw them. They drove me to the spot. There was no house. Just an empty lot, overgrown with weeds. But in the dirt, I found a hook. It was rusted, old, but unmistakable. As we left, I heard it. The wife's laughter, faint and mocking, echoing through the trees.